Soranus entered the great Athenian agora. Upon entering, he found his best friend and rival debater Harpolus. "Hey yo Soranus, you alright?" Harpolus shouted out his name. "How many times have I told you not to call me with that name? I'm not comfortable with it." Soranus frowned with his forehead creasing up. "But why do you feel disgusted? There is nothing bad about it." Harpolus replied while straightening the curly ends of his beard's hair. "Does it need to be bad for you not to call it out? If my name was associated with something good, then does it really justify you saying it out loud? I mean, what is even bad and good in the first place?" "My friend, you really have brought a discussion to the table. I think we are not the ones to decide what is good and bad, but we are forced to." Harpolus now had a cheeky grin on his aged face. "But that does not justify you repeatedly calling my name." Soranus became even more sorer. "Yes, my friend, I agree. I cannot justify other than I like the sound of it. But you also cannot justify why I cannot call you by your actual name." Harpolus said. "Okay then, Harp, what does good means? We need to set the presumptions first to define goodness. Okay, so do you agree that we humans are here to survive and make a life a better experience?" "Yeah." "So that means in order to make life better and increase probability of survivability, we need to do things which makes yourself and everyone survive longer. So everything is good when it helps you and everyone survive in the long term, not just in the short term. So in short, you need to stop being an entitled asshole." Haha, that insult seems similar to another word. Scott was a man in his early 20s. He studied philosophy at the Oxford School of Art because he didn't make to the actual Oxford University. Scott was in a moral dilemma due to the fact that a war had broken out in Europe. He had to make a decision, which was either he sacrificed his life for the sake of his country or stay back and support his sick old mother mentally and financially. He, on one hand, thought that going to the war will satisfy his spiritual calling, while also being able to get rid of the bad choice of choosing philosophy, as he would no longer need to read a dumb argument between two ancient Greek philosophers who can't figure out what is good and bad. But if he left for the war, then it was guaranteed that his sick mother will die without him. On the other hand, if he did decide to stay back, his mother would survive, but then he would feel the guilt of not fighting and potentially saving more lives. The war with each day came closer, while Scott's blood pressure rose to new records. He one day ended up taking a long walk through the forest in order to clear his head up. The forest was filled with olive green trees and the birds sang a harmonious melody. Scott began to relax up a bit when he suddenly saw a shadowy figure sitting on a log in the middle of nowhere. "I was having a life crisis. My wife and I had a fight, and as a result she gave me the silent treatment. She had done an immoral act which I couldn't forgive her for. I still couldn't believe what she had done, but she thought it was nothing unethical of sort. Let me tell you what she did. She ate the last biscuits from the box which I had saved specifically for my tea time. I even had asked her once before whether she would like the last remaining biscuits, but she denied, saying that I knew she was not fond of anything sweet in particular. But after working a long, cold, rainy night shift at Stoke, I just wanted one thing, just one, which was some warmth. That warmth obviously was not going to come from my wife, so I took the next best alternative, which was a warm cup of Earl Grey and few biscuits. But they weren't there anymore, just the empty box. When I asked her for the first time, she casually responded with, "Oh, those ones. Yeah, I felt like having some light banter." The only question after that roamed in my head was that this sinful woman who had taken my rightful biscuits was in a vicious denial of not accepting her wrongdoing, but just saying, "It's just a joke, bro." "Spencer, I do accept that you asked me that day, but it doesn't stop me from having a biscuit later on. I mean, how can you say I'm wrong when you're the..." I cannot feel anything other than this void, the void that is known to be filled with nothing. Thus, the nothing is a void, and the feeling is nothing, so I must be nothing. The only thing beside nothingness is the memories I have, which now are slowly fading away due to the nothingness consuming me. The memories were about the times I had seen the Greeks discussing about what was good and what was bad. The times I had seen a young man stuck in a moral trap. The times I had seen a couple argue over a few pieces of biscuit. I had seen it all, but now I had slowly forgotten what really was the point of going through the triviality of subjectivity. Oh, I wish, but couldn't, as I had forgotten also what my wish was. But I still have few things to say before I totally become one with the ascended being. I don't know what it really is, and I'm too insignificant for it to recognize my assimilating into its vitality. I'm confused as I cannot distinguish whether I know nothing or I know everything. Oh, before anything I have to say. Okay, so Uranus? Ah, you were so close, damn it! So Uranus, you said you have to do things that help you and others survive in the long term, right? But it doesn't mean that you're doing something which is particularly good. Even if it is considered good by the society, it still is far from good. Ah, yes. I understand actually what you mean for once, Harpalus. You're saying that doing something that can help the society to survive is not necessarily good. As I could kill you right here, and it will help the whole of Athenian population. Okay, not exactly what I meant. I meant that what is taught as acceptable and good in our society could be seen as something taboo in the future. We did end up sacrificing that chap so the gods will help us win the war. But what if we were wrong all along and those gods might not be gods after all, and just our perception? Meaning we purposelessly just chucked the chap off the cliff. What about the situation right now? What I am doing might be wrong. In future, having some light banter might be considered as suppressing the right of the other, thus it being a wrong thing to do. So, for the sake of good and bad, I shall not call you with a name you don't prefer. Upon hearing Harpalus's words, Soranus became less sore and more friendly. Psych! Soranus, Soranus. Ah! Scott carefully stayed few meters away from the random man. He tried to address the man several times, but there was no response from the opposition. Scott thought that it was rude of this man to behave in such a manner, but upon closer inspection, he saw a box on top of a ragged book. Now like a little curious human, Scott ended up going near him. As he entered the peripherals of the man, he instantly jolted up with a pen in his hand. He picked up the book, which was overfilled with spare papers. His hands moved swiftly to write something down. He showed the paper to Scott, which asked one question, and one question only. "Are you down to make some homemade biscuits, mate?" The man then took a biscuit out of the box and gave it to him. Scott was a little suspicious, but he realized that the mute man had this kind glimpse in his eye that made him want to try it out. Upon putting the biscuit in his mouth, he totally forgot about why he was walking in the forest. The time and space amalgamated and he felt something which he couldn't describe, something like nothing and everything. "What did you put in this biscuit, mate?" The man once again wrote something down and showed it to him. "It's a secret, but if you bake them and sell them with me, I'll tell you." Scott in a breath agreed with this demand of his. In the process, Scott totally forgot about making the moral decision and ended up baking and selling the secret biscuits with. I was totally furious with my wife. She had taken a step too far by eating the best biscuits known to humanity, the Pot and Scott's butterscotch biscuits. It's a sin to touch another man's biscuits, especially when he had asked you once before. "So, do you want a divorce over a biscuit now?" My wife fiercely exploded at me. "Darling, it is not about the biscuit. It is the wrong you have done to me. You have broken my trust and hurt me," I said. I did not know what to do about the situation than just giving her the taste of her immorality. I wanted her to go through what I had experienced. I wanted her to feel misery. But when I saw her teary-eyed face, that conveyed the message that she did not intend it to hurt me in reality. I instantly realized that how scummy I was. Why did I want her to suffer over such a trivial matter when I knew every moment I spent with her could be my last? That biscuit, that trust, that morality and that relation are all going to end. The emotions and logic of good and bad had blinded me from the fact that I loved this person and always will. Honey, I'm sorry for everything. Those biscuits were really addicting, but even they will not taste right if you are not there anymore. I want you to be with me, so please, please. The things I want to say was, You chaps are some dumb old stinky little creatures. Like, why two old men would argue about a silly little name, then bring up what is good and bad? Also, why the heck did the British lad agree to baking biscuits with a stranger? I don't want to be a snob, but that's a pretty big plot hole. Lastly, that couple is dumb. Oh man, they fought over the morality of eating a biscuit. Oh, pitiful. Okay, calm down, calm down. I think the time has come where I shall perish into the abyss of nothingness. It was nice to rant before I feel nothing. To feel how dumb the human race is, considering they think that there exists something pure and holy, and there exists something evil and wicked. The spectrum of what is good and bad is nothing to the meta. Ah yes, the meta. Meta is where everything is one, and one is everything, and there is nothing beside everything, and nothing is within everything, and everything is nothing, and I am nothing, and you are nothing, and we are nothing, and everything is nothing, and nothing is everything. Ah, yes, I have this tingling feeling inside my head that began before the time and space, and now it fades away. It was a good journey, watching everything and nothing fighting over what was ethics, what was the meaning, what was right, what was wrong, and what was the meta. But don't worry about it now, as it shall come to an end or to a beginning. The meta speaks to me now in a gentle voice as I get closer to it. Whatever boundary existed before is removed, and now it can see me, but I don't know what it sees me as. Slowly, the vessel detaches itself as the feeling of existence cannot be felt. The taste of the universe cannot be tasted. The loud bang of the blast cannot be heard. The smell of the matter cannot be smelled. The sight of the explicit matter cannot be seen. The body doesn't exist. The spirit doesn't exist. And the soul doesn't exist. Yes, it is within. It's all clear now. Everything is piecing together magnificently. Ah, finally, I don't really know. I don't 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 know. I don't